Kenyan citizens, welcome. This is the Current Affairs segment, your trusted source for the latest news, impactful stories, and insightful discussions shaping our nation and beyond. I'm Angela Kabete, and together with Bwana Kimotho, we dive into the headlines and the news that matters the most to keep you updated of what is happening. So stay tuned as we break it down right here, right now. Bwana Kimotho, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Kenya inakupeleka aje? Unasikia kuhamia Tanzania, you know?
Tunashukuru hata pia kwa weather.
Kwa weather?
Yeah.
The weather is good?
It is good, imetuliza mambo.
Imetuliza mambo.
Yes.
Even in the politics it was hot, lakini sasa ni kama imetulia.
Imetulia.
You know, before you start the current affairs, lazima tupe watu, that is the verse of the day, an encouragement for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The word of encouragement today will come from that John. That is chapter 1 and tuangalie pale verse 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest that is you may prosper and be in health even as thy soul prosper. Mpenzi, naomba ufanikiwe katika mambo yote na kuwa na afya yako kama vile roho yako ifanikiwavyo. It's a very good word of God. As that ni mtumishi wa Mungu ambaye alikuwa anaombea his fellow disciples. Na tunashukuru kwa sababu haya maombi ni mazuri sana ya kwamba we prosper kimali, kifedha, pia na afya njema. And at the same time spiritually. So it's something ambayo tumekuwa tukiona hata apostle akituombea na
that is prosperity, good health.
Yes.
You know, and actually, you know, it is the desire of God to see the believers, the Christians, prosper.
Because unajua usipo prosper, mambo yako yatakwama, kazi ya Mungu pia itatizika pia. Wakati pia uko na afya njema, mambo yote itakuwa iko sawa, hakuna kusumbuka. Pia nayo kiroho nayo unaona utakuwa unakuwa. Yes. So it's a very encouraging word, ambayo especially kwa mambo ambayo tunapitia saizi na economic status of our nation. Just be encouraged.
Even the politicians trust in God.
Yeah.
I don't know if the politicians wanna trust in God, but I believe they do trust in God. Si tuliona huwa wanaenda makanisani.
They do, because even to them they need also to prosper. Yes.
In leadership. In
leadership, hata kimali bado. Yes, hakuna mtu mwenye hawezi kuprosper kimali. Yes, hata kiafya. Sasa hiyo nyingine ya spiritual, sasa hiyo sana ya mtu binafsi.
Hiyo ni mtu binafsi. And that's why yesterday we telling our viewers to trust in God in every circumstance, in every situation. Sometimes Apostle Dr. Jesse Karanja wasema God works in mysterious ways, in mysterious moments. So in that mysterious moment, where is your hope? Wewe ukimbilia wapi?
Yes.
Wewe unaenda wapi? Do you start complaining that the government is not doing its work, you know, instead of first reaching that is to God, because he has promised us that is prosperity, good health, you know? Definitely.
So be encouraged. The word of God imesema hivyo. You know, just depend on the word of God na mambo itakuwa sawa.
Yeah. And now today this leo tuko na stories mingi sana Bwana Kimotho on what is happening. I have my Daily Nation with me.
Nami niko na gazeti la Standard.
And on your Standard top stories the leo ni gani?
Leo top story imekuwa ni mambo ingine. Tukiona maybe some of the top stories tunaona ni politicians pain, suffering and fury. More than 1 million teachers, police and their dependents have been left to their own that is devices after hospitals refuse to treat them on government insurance. The service provider says the Social Health Authority is yet to pay debts and have no option but to shut their doors on the officers, tutors and their families during their time of need if they cannot pay cash for treatment. You can imagine they are a civil servant na wanakuwa na wanadidactiwa but wakati sasa wanaenda now the insurance iweze kuwasaidia kunakuwa na issues. And actually tulikuwa tumeona kulikuwa na that is the police walikuwa wamekuwa gathered pamoja somewhere wakuwe trained na pia waeleze mambo ya SHA. And surprisingly hatujawahi iona the officers coming out with this fury. They were actually complaining. Walikuwa nasema hii kitu hata wao nao walikuwa wana criticize and they were so much in pain because you can imagine every month unakatwa. Then wakati unaenda unahitaji usaidizi, unaambiwa hapana, hii haiwezi kukushughulikia saizi unless ulipe cash kwa sababu ya mambo fulani ambayo si makosa yako. It's very
na wewe umekuwa ukikuwa tax kila mwezi.
Hapa gazeti inatuelezea ni walimu, police officers na other that is a state officers. Yeah, so ni watu ambao maybe ni watu ambao wako kwa mshahara, ni watu ambao huwa wanakatwa. Yes, unajua sasa si kama wengine ambao ni self lazima uende ulipe. Hii yao ikiingia pale inakatwa inakuwa remitted now to the
Mr. Kimotho, I was asking myself, do you think magic would happen in the government to ambia watu because SHA is not functioning, is staggering, haifanyi even kazi ifaavyo. Probably they could stop taxing people for a period of time. Waseme hiyo pesa yenye mmekuwa mkilipia itawashughulikia for now, wacha tusiwata. Do you think it's possible?
I don't know, but unajua the issue is that the formula that we have ya kutumia hizi pesa ni issue.
The formula.
Because the formula ya kuchukua pesa hiyo tuko nayo, and in fact is one of the best. Kutoka kwa any institution, hata kwa nini
they are good. Mpaka sasa kuna digital, you know,
collection of money. We are
very
excellent,
good,
sawa kabisa, and we are the best. But comes to spending. Yeah,
the spending of the money itself.
Hapo sasa kuna shida.
Hapo ndio mashida zinaingia sasa when it comes to the spending of the money.
Yes.
Hizi pesa si za, hizi ni pesa za wananchi. I don't know why you collect Kenyans' money so confidently, you know, promising that you're going to do this and that. Ikifika party implementation and hizo pesa mnatumia, you feel the pain of using that money na ni pesa za wananchi.
So it's very unfair because is you know wakati now the government inakataa now kuremit now the money to other insurance companies because sasa hapa kuna one of the person anasema that is a police officer ako under AAP insurance, alichukua cover scheme, na I have a chronic condition that requires constant monitoring. Last time I was at that hospital, I was told to wait for another 2 weeks before I could get another that is another consultation. So how do you tell a sick person to wait for 14 days? Does illness wait? Said one of the officers who sought anonymity. The situation is even worse for the officers in remote areas. My wife was unwell and had to be rushed to a hospital, but the insurance provider refused to approve the treatment. I was hundreds of kilometers away, unable to help. So that's you can imagine it's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because this situation ukiangalia ina affect even the other insurance company because unajua na hao wanakuwa deducted, ndio now the money inakuwa remitted kule. So kumekuwa na those issues ambazo zimekuwa hapa. Tumeona the police officer, tumeona pia some complaint even from the TSC, pia tunaona the NAT Secretary General that is pia complain of the same. So it's something ambayo it's very unfair actually. Yeah.
It is unfair, and that's why there is a time that we had the deputy president akisema ati they will take all the feedbacks from people positively, and if they're going to take this positively, I believe wangekuwa wameshaanza kuact on them.
Unajua kuchukua feedbacks walichukua because unajua sasa hii ilikuja kwa ground wakafanya mambo yao but vile wana implement ndio kuna shida,
the way of implementing it,
and the only thing ya mambo na implementation mali shida inakuja ni ku allocate money mahali inafaa.
And now when you talk about SHA, Mr. Kimotho, I'm surprised because kila siku huwa wanapokea pesa each and every day.
Yes,
hakuna siku yenye kosa kupokea pesa because Kenyans are paying tax.
Because the other time we saw from the figures ambazo tuliona zikiwa highlighted hapa walikuwa na receive 900 million.
That is a lot
a day.
This system should be working by now.
Nimekwambia systems za collect pesa, in fact sidhani kama kuna inchi ambayo iko na system nzuri in Africa kama Kenya. Hiyo pesa kwanza ingekuwa ishalipa areas zote za NHF
and now tumemalizana NHF, then we talk about SHA.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're talking about SHA and still complaining about NHF.
So that is a complaint that is here, even the complaint that is hata kwa patients wengine hapa wako hapa kwa sababu kuna kuwa na long queue especially wakati nini deductions zako za pesa zinatoka now from the insurance. So it's something that needs to be addressed fast, and na pia wanafaa waichukue kama a priority because now to do the issue to deal with health something that now they should take, you know, the seriousness in it.
And now let's turn to other stories. That is on my Daily Nation page 1. This concerns the economy.
Yeah.
And that is the National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Bahati has said to the government, have said that the government will not stop borrowing despite senators raising questions on how huge loans are borrowed by the state are spent. That story is on page 5. Let's check it out.
So the CS is saying that they will stop.
They will. Is that they will not stop borrowing.
They will not
stop borrowing.
Okay.
Even ndio alisema despite the senators raising the questions over how huge loans are borrowed and spent. That is what he said yesterday. And then pia akasema ati Kenya, which has been struggling with heavy debt, has been scrambling for new financing after deadly Gen Z protest in June and July last year forced withdrawal of the controversial 2024 financial bill, setting the government backed at least by 346 billion. Is that a genuine reason to say that they are not going to stop to borrow money, Mr. Kimotho?
Unajua the issue is hata hatuna shida na kuborrow.
Unajua mimi am asking myself, is the protest that Gen Z zilirudisha je nyuma? Because the budget was unfair to Kenyans and that's why kulikuwa na protest.
Actually pia nilikuwa nasikia akisema the same thing jana, alikuwa somewhere in a TV station akifanyia interview jana. And alikuwa na acknowledge hayo mambo yote and at that time hakuwa in government.
He is defending himself.
So hata ukiangalia vile anaidefend ni kama tu venye alisikia, because unajua kuna vitu unaweza defend kitu kama ulikuwa ndani yake na kama ulisikia mahali.
Yeah, that's true.
So the way alikuwa anaidefend ilikuwa inaonekana tu it is just alikuwa anajaribu kusugarcoat.
Ati Kenya's public debt currently stands at that is 11.2 trillion with government seeking to undertake audit. Ujehesabu meje Mr. Kimotho the external debt na internal debt. And you know, you remember last time wakisema that the internal debt hata iko karibu kuzidi kupita ya external debt. So sahi mnaona mpaka siku hizi tunaenda mpaka Japan.
It's very unfortunate. But unajua the issue is borrowing is not an issue. The way we spend our money hapo ndio kuna issue.
And still they're saying that state proposes to borrow that is 684.2 billion from domestic market and that again 146.8 billion from external market. Will you leave on borrowing? Because hizi deni zote zitalipwa na wananchi. Why don't they work on what we have? They find ways of improving our economy.
So hiyo ndio issue ambayo tumekuwa pale. Na ukiona nao CS that is the CS in charge of country finances akiongea hivyo wakati tunaelekea preparation ya budget.
Yeah, the new budget. What should Kenyans expect?
Huge budget.
Actually not for huge bad taxes zitakuwa heavy, Mr. Kimotho. These people they are misusing money. Tuliona juzi tu wameimport wheat from outside. Na tuko na wheat Kenya, Mr. Kimotho.
And it is very unfair because sasa mna import already, watu sasa ndio wako tayari kunini wanatafuta market.
Yeah.
Na nyinyi ndio mnaleta nyingine. So ukiangalia hapo hiyo balance yao iko na issue kidogo.
Instead of us exporting what we have, we are importing more than what we have.
Yes. So
this so unfair for Kenyans, Mr. Kimotho. And actually the funny thing, the way he's defending the reasons as to why they are borrowing because the Gen Z wali protest wakakata the budget that was year 2024-2025, that is the current impact yenye inaleta sahi. I thought after the process they're going to find solutions on how they can make sure that the economy is stable.
That is very in fact I think they should now maybe correct their statement. Because wanatafuta that is a scapegoat to that situation. Because hakuna mahali tuliona that is up to now they are not supposed to use the issue of Gen Z's kama excuse because wamekuwa collect taxes. So